You're looking for a different way to prepare your meatloaf? This is a game changer. Taco meatloaf. Let's go. Okay, so here are the ingredients, guys. I know it looks like a lot, and it probably is, but just keep in mind we are making taco meatloaf, so we're gonna use some of the traditional ingredients that you typically use for Mexican dishes. So like the black beans, we're gonna use some, we got corn, some salsa, and some Doritos, crushed Doritos. So, but remember, you can eliminate some of these ingredients depending on how you wanna make your meatloaf, but it is really simple. I recommend using all these ingredients. It's gonna come out delicious. So let's go ahead and do a quick rundown. Although I just told you some ingredients, we have our ground beef here. We're gonna use ground pork, and we're gonna use chorizo. Now, if you don't wanna use pork, you don't have to use pork. If you don't wanna use chorizo, you don't have to use chorizo. You can use all ground beef if you want to, or all ground pork, or all chorizo. It depends on what you want and how you want your meatloaf to taste. Right here, we have some cheese. We have corn here, as I mentioned, 2 eggs, chopped garlic. We have some salsa here, some crushed Doritos, some seasoned salt, black beans, sweet onion, chili powder, garlic powder, cumin, oregano, and we have some taco seasoning here, guys. So these are the ingredients. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and start preparing our meatloaf. Now, this is truly a dump and go recipe. And when I mean it, I mean that. So all the ingredients you're seeing, we're just gonna dump it and go. So we're gonna start with our ground beef. And guys, this is about a pound of ground beef here, our ground pork, that's about a half a pound, and our chorizo here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just start mixing this up real quick, just kind of get our meat kind of mixed together and get it all portioned out, these 3 meats, before we start adding our remaining ingredients. And guys, I like to do this before I add all the ingredients because I just wanna make sure we have even portions of our meat throughout our meatloaf, so when you bite into it, you have that flavor from the ground pork. You also have that flavor from the chorizo, and of course from our ground beef. I tell you, the fragrance from that smells absolutely delicious. So let's go ahead and start adding the rest of our ingredients. Our Doritos, a cup of cheese, our chili powder, oregano, garlic powder, seasoned salt, cumin, our taco seasoning. And I'm just gonna take a moment and get those dry seasonings mixed in here, along with our, of course, our cheese, but I wanna make sure that dry seasoning is throughout this whole mixture. Man, oh man, this smells so good. Guys, you see how it's all coming together like that? See what that looks like? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and continue with the remaining ingredients. We're gonna add our corn. That's a half a cup of corn, our onions, our garlic. We're gonna get this mixed in here too. Oh, you know what? Let me get those black beans in here before I go eat that in there. All right, guys, take a look at that. Man, that's starting to look amazing. Now we're gonna come behind that with our egg and our salsa. And all we're gonna do now, same thing, get that all mixed in there. And guys, it's just gonna start coming together exactly how we want it. And we're just gonna, fold it together. No need to kind of press it, just fold it together, just fold it over till you get it all mixed in. And guys, it'll all start coming together. Oh man, take a look at that. All right, so let me go ahead and change gloves, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna get this baby into our meatloaf pan, and we're gonna go ahead and get it in the oven. See how quick that was? Let's go. All right, so right here we have a pan for our meatloaf. Yeah, it looks a little small. It's more like a bread pan, but we're gonna make it work. So we're gonna just put our meatloaf in here, and we're just gonna spray it down, make sure, to keep those sides greased up so our meatloaf doesn't stick. And we're just gonna start stuffing it. If we have any left over, hey, we'll just cook it for tomorrow. Or any of you guys, if you're here in Santo Domingo, you can stop by and I can give you the rest of this meatloaf if we have any left. So we're just gonna start putting it in here like this. And it looks like I'm gonna be able to use all of it. The pan just looks small, but when you start putting it in here, it actually is gonna fill up the whole thing. Like I say, you don't wanna really press too hard down on it. Kind of just wanna, kind of like push it down. And look at that, guys. Look at that beauty. Oh, that's a beauty. All right, so this is what we have. Take a look at that beauty there. I'm using my Paris Rhone countertop oven. I've already preheated it to 350 degrees. We're gonna stick this baby in here for 45 minutes, and we're gonna pull it out and make sure the internal temperature is around 165. All right, so let's go ahead and get it into the oven. All right, so we are 40 minutes in. Let's pull this baby out. Let's take a look at that. Wow. So what we're gonna do is we're going to get this over on our cut board. We're gonna do some final touches, and then we're gonna put it back in for another 10 to 15 minutes. Make sure that internal temperature is at 165 degrees so we can get into quality control. I know y'all ready for that. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take our remaining salsa, it's about another third of a cup of salsa, and we're just gonna spread that over. I might get some more of it. I don't think that's a third of a cup right there. Or you may need about half a cup, but hey, who's counting? I'll put the measurements in the video description below. If you don't have salsa, you can use taco sauce too. I want to use this chunky salsa. I like this with my tacos. All right, so now we have like a third cup left of our crushed Doritos, and the only thing we're gonna do now, just gonna sprinkle them on the top like that. And last but not least, our last cup of cheese. We're just gonna sprinkle it on top of it like this. All right, so we're gonna put this back into our oven for another 10 to 15 minutes. We want that cheese to melt, but we also want that internal temperature around 165 degrees, all right? So let's get that back in the oven. All right, so we're about 10 minutes in. Look at what we have. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna let this rest for about 7 to 10 minutes, and then we're gonna get it out of our pan. We're gonna slice it up, and we're gonna see what that baby tastes like, all right? All right, so this is what we have out the pan. We're gonna start to cut into this baby to see what it's about. We're gonna start right here. Oh man, take a look at that, guys. Now take a look at that, guys. And all I can say is there you have it. Taco meatloaf. Yes, I know this is unconventional, very different, but let me know what you think about this recipe in the comment section below. I'm gonna leave all the ingredients in the video description below for you guys to check out. And let's go ahead and get into quality control because I'm ready. Let's go. All right, guys, so we are back in here for quality control. We definitely gotta try out this taco meatloaf. Man, I'm telling you, I am anxious to bite into this to see what it tastes like. It smells so good too. This one. Let's make sure we know what we're doing. That's from the cheese right there. I make sure I can taste that chorizo, that ground pork. Oh man, this is good. Now, it's probably one thing I would probably change. I would probably leave out either the beans or the corn. It is a lot going on within the meat. I would probably leave out the beans and keep the corn. Hey, if you want to keep it all in, you can do it. It still tastes fine, but and it's moist. Man, this is good. So until then, I'm your cook, Spinelli. Man, we did a taco meatloaf. Oh guys, if you haven't seen my taco spaghetti video, click that link above. You want to see that one. That one there fire, just like this one here. So remember, I ain't no chef. I just cook a lot, and now I'm out. Peace.